Good afternoon, everyone. I am back for another YouTube video. We are back again, and today I will be talking about the best full coverage foundations. Now, these foundations are not just high-end, they are also, I have 6 foundations that are high-end, as in they will have a higher end price, and I have 6 foundations that are drugstore, so they won't have a super low price, but they will have a price that is a big difference going between the low end. So, but before I jump into the video, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like the video, and we're not done. While you're at the subscribe button, click that notification bell just so you're notified when I upload a new video, because why wouldn't you want to miss this? But yeah, I'm going to jump right into the video, so let's get started. So I'm going to start with the high end, and then we're going to go to the drugstore. So the first foundation I have is the Makeup Forever Foundation HD Foundation, either stick or fluid. If you don't like, if you like foundation sticks better than liquid foundations, they're both very full coverage. Shade range, usually, sometimes depending on the brand, I usually won't judge on shade range, but shade range is okay. The HD stick has less of a shade range than the HD foundation fluid, but we're not going to talk about that. But it is full coverage. It's full coverage. It's by Makeup Forever, which has they have really good, awesome stuff. But the price, the foundation stick is $43, which is okay. I'm not gonna say it's not bad for a foundation, but it's not like amazing for a foundation, because sometimes usually the foundation that you'll find in Sephora will usually range from, I'm gonna say like $30, and they will go up to $200. There is nothing below $30. They will stop at $200 or more. So it'll go $30 and up. So this one, usually foundations, like I said, but usually most foundations range around somewhere between 30 and probably 50. Usually the most foundations I've seen in my time, but I have seen some foundations like the one by La Prairie. That one is $200, or it's close to $200. So yeah, the Makeup Forever foundation stick is full coverage, and there's not really bad reviews about it. Now, I know some people really don't like it when there's bad reviews about a foundation stick or just a foundation in general. Some people, when they see the bad reviews or they hear about it, they're immediately like, red flag, not buying this foundation, I'm sticking with my normal one. But I personally haven't heard any bad reviews on it. They're probably out there because there's always a bad review about something. But I personally haven't heard a bad review on it. Again, it is $43, which is kind of pricey. But, I mean, this is high-end. Like, what do we expect? Next foundation I'm going to talk about is the Kat Von D Lock-It Tattoo Foundation. This one is cheaper than the Makeup Forever, but it is still a little pricey. Kat Von D, you know who she is. She's known for a lot of things. She's an actor. She was on some reality show about tattoo artists. Then she got into makeup. She's done a lot with her career, and she has a makeup brand. And it's not owned by her, but it is represented by her. And since she is a tattoo artist, or since she has her theme of her brand is very gothic and dark and emo, and everything's like black, and some of the lipstick names are Exorcism and Witch and Hazel. But her stuff is very good. Her foundation does give you an everyday beat kind of look. If you don't like that, if you want to look very natural and neutral and kind of minimal with just like a little BB creamy concealer, Kat Von D will not give you that. She will give you the full coverage moment every single day. The foundation is $35, which is not bad. I'm gonna just say it is not bad for a foundation. Now, it is pretty pricey for makeup in general. It's pricey. Usually, some foundations can compare for only being like $6, But $35 for a foundation, that's actually like not that bad, because usually, like I just said, foundations, usually the most foundations in like Sephora start at like 40 something, but this one's only 35. You do get a lot of product for a foundation. I feel like, I am guessing, but I'm gonna say you probably get a good, I would say probably get a good ounce of product. It's full coverage. She has a good shade range, so if you have trouble finding your shade, you will probably find it. And it is a very good coverage foundation. Next foundation I'm going to talk about is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. This foundation is $42, so like $1 more than the Makeup Forever, a lot more for Kat Von D. It's still very good. It's drugstore. I've seen people do a wear test and they look beautiful at the end of the day. It doesn't matter if they're out for 10 hours, 5 hours, 3 hours, they still look beautiful. Like it says in the towel, it is double wear. I feel like it is a long wear foundation as well, but the price, it is $42, so it is kind of pricey. She also has really good concealers, but what I was thinking about is the amount of product. Now, you do not get a lot of, you don't get a big amount of product, but you also don't get very small. You kind of get somewhere in the middle, which probably sounds very stupid because usually that's what foundation comes in. But like the foundation is probably, I don't have anything. It's probably like, it's probably like this big, or probably that big. The foundation is like that big, and then you get product in the middle. So you definitely don't get a large amount of product, but I'm guessing they only give you a little amount of product because like a little goes a long way. I don't know, but it's $42, so something you should look in. Or, yeah, it's $42. Next one I'm gonna talk about is the NARS Radiant, their Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. This one does go up a little bit on the foundation meter. It is $49. So if you got it at Sephora, your bill would probably come up to 52, maybe 51, maybe 50. It is kind of pricey, but it's not a new foundation, but it is definitely not old. Like they've never had, like it's definitely not one of those foundations that's been out for like forever, because it dropped, I'm gonna say, it dropped, I'm gonna say around Christmas time. I don't know. Don't quote me. Don't quote me. Please don't quote me. It dropped somewhere around Christmas time, I think. Again, please do not quote me on that. But it is one of their newer foundations. It is full coverage. It gives, like it said in the towel, it does give you a radiant finish. So if you're a person that prefers matte, they do have a skin tint that is matte, but this one is radiant, so we'll give you a glowy, dewy finish. $49. That's something that's like, it's like one of those, like it's like one of those products that's super expensive. You have to make like this face, but it's a really good foundation. Foundation. It's long wear. It's super beautiful, super dewy, which I'm okay with. If you don't like dewy, usually most people who don't like dewy usually have oily skin, but I have very dry skin, so I'm okay with dewy. But if you're not, I think they do have a mattifying foundation. Next thing, we've all heard about this, the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation. Huda, first of all, let's talk about Huda. She's a makeup artist. She kind of got her like structure online. She's from, I don't know where she's from, but I think she's from Saudi Arabia, which is very cool. Her foundation, it is full coverage. Literally like if you were using a beauty blender or even a brush, 2 taps, if you squirt it onto your beauty blender or onto your brush, 2 taps of the foundation will cover up half your cheek. Like 2 taps will cover up this much. Now usually some foundations, when you go into a tap, it looks full coverage, but then when you blend it in, it kind of is medium. But this is full coverage. It's a semi-matte finish, so if you like a semi-matte finish, which is kind of hard to find in foundation, you will definitely get that. It's $40, which I'm gonna say down and put it there. It is less than all the foundations that are high end that I will be talking about today. It's $40. It's I was gonna say it's super affordable. It's $40. It's definitely full coverage. Her shade range is good. I'm not gonna say it's bad. It is good. But I was watching a review and the shade range could use a little bit of work, just a tiny bit of work. I would like, if she ever drops a couple more shades, I would be glad by seeing at least probably 2 or 3 more shades, because the darkest shade is Truffle, which is a pretty dark shade, but it's not dark enough. So probably 2 or 3 more shades, I'm good. No complaints, I'm good. It's a very good foundation. It will give you Instagram skin. Instagram gurus used it for a while. It kind of gives you, not like a BB cream, but it gives you that your skin but better feel, if you know what I'm saying. Like, once you tap it on, it will look very full coverage, but since she kind of has a wide shade range, it ends up at the end of the day just looks like skin. You won't look like cake face. You won't look like a porcelain doll. If you're okay with, if you like looking like a cake face or a porcelain doll, you can. But it at the end of the day, it makes your skin look like normal skin, but smoother, a little bit softer. It kind of gives you like that your skin but better vibe. And the last foundation is the Hourglass Vanish Foundation Stick. Now, I really like this foundation stick because I tried it and it was really good. I tried it once and I really like the shape of the stick. It's a triangle shape, which is good for getting like in areas like here, kind of like where your face kind of like curves. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's a very good foundation, full coverage. It's thick, and but it is $46. Just pricey. It's pretty pricey. It's a little bit pricey. It's $46, but it's really good. It's really good, very full coverage. So if you prefer a stick foundation because you're kind of because you're always working or you're always doing your makeup in your car, this one is really good. But it does take a little bit time to blend out because it is a foundation sticks, and foundation sticks are a little bit thicker than normal fluid foundations. Now let's move on for the drugstore. For the people out there watching that are trying to keep it at a budget, you can find all of these products at your local Ulta. You can find them at CVS. You can find, okay, 2 of the foundations you cannot find at, one of the foundations you can't find at CVS, but the rest of them, so 1 out of the 6 foundations you won't find at CVS. You'll probably only, you can probably only find this at a beauty supply store, like where they sell like hair extensions and wigs, or you'll probably find it at Ulta. But the rest of them you can find at a drugstore like CVS, Walgreens, Rite Aid, Target, Walmart. So first foundation is the Maybelline Superstay. Now, drugstore foundations, they since they're in a bunch of different stores, they can't have a different price range. Some foundations a foundation at Target could be $9.98, but foundation at CVS could be $8. So really, depending on where you shop, they will have a different price range, but they are still very affordable and way more cheap than the foundations, the high-end foundations we were talking about. And yes, I know there's a glare on my glasses. I see it. It's right there. Maybelline Superstay, very full coverage. I feel like it's a dupe for the Huda Beauty. 2 taps, your entire cheek is covered. It is a mattifying foundation. So Huda Beauty is semi-matte. Superstay full coverage. The Superstay line is all about matte and like being matte and flat. So if you like a matte foundation because you have the oily skin type, that one I would definitely look into. But it is, like I said, some drugstore foundations can have different price ranges, because on Walmart, like the apper.com, it's $9.98, but at CVS it's $12. So it kind of just depends on where you buy it. But I feel like it will not go over $13, or it won't go over $12 depending on where you buy it. Again, it's mattifying. So if you have a dry skin tone, I would mix it with probably a little bit of highlighter, maybe maybe put a little bit more highlight on, because it is a mattifying foundation, but it's really good. It does crease just a tiny bit on like places where you usually crease, so like probably here, your smile line, probably here, but if you're smiling all day, you will get some creasage. Next is the L'Oreal Infallible Total Covering. Now this foundation is very full coverage. It's very cheap. The price is $12.99, so it's $13, which is kind of expensive. L'Oreal, I feel like L'Oreal and NYX kind of got a little bit more pricey over the years. They did not come to play, but it is very full coverage. It is very full coverage, and shade range, I mean, it's a drugstore, so usually drugstore shade ranges aren't bad, but they also could be better. But nowadays, drugstore shade ranges are like low-key popping. But next foundation is the LA Girl foundations. Now both LA Girl foundations, the Pro Matte and the Pro Coverage. Pro Coverage is dewy, so if you have a dry skin tone like me, you will get a dewy finish, and Pro Matte is oh my god, there's something in my eye. Oh, there we go. And Pro Matte is obviously in the name, it's matte. It's a mattifying foundation. See, like I said before, depending on where you shop, because on Ulta you get it for $8.99, but on their website, like on the LA Girl website, it's $10. So you can find this at your local beauty supply store. So Sally's Beauty Supply, Gold Beauty, I can't think of any other, but you will find it at your local beauty supply store. Really, pretty much all the LA Girl stuff, because that's really where they're sold. You can this the LA Girl kind of line you can only really find at a beauty supply store or at Ulta. I've never seen, now this probably happens, but where I live, I've never seen any LA Girl products that are in like a CVS or Walgreens. But next foundation, the Milani Conceal and Perfect foundation. This foundation is really good. It doubles as a concealer, but I don't use that as concealer. I actually use this foundation. I used it around Christmas time because I did get it for Christmas. The shade range does jump because you kind of get a lighter shade, and then you jump into like a shade like for me. So the shade range does jump. I feel like between 13 and 12, there could definitely be one in the middle, like a middle child, but it's okay. Milani, you can fix it. Conceal and Perfect, very full coverage. It's not very full coverage, but it is full coverage. It gets the job done. It is a long wear foundation, so at the end of the day, your skin will still look good. If you have oily skin, you may, I don't know if you'll end up shiny, but I just wanted to put that out there. Next is this one. It's weird. So this one is the NYX Total Control Drop Foundation. It is $14, which is kind of expensive for a foundation, but we're not going to talk about it. It's $14. This one, okay. So usually you can with this one you can actually control the coverage. Now, usually when foundations say controllable coverage, it usually means they're going to be light to medium, but this one you actually can. So it's a liquidy foundation that comes in like drop form, and you put dots on your face. The more dots you put on your face, or the more amount of product you put on your face before you blend it in, you will get more of a full coverage. The less, as you probably guessed, you will get less of a full coverage moment. But it is super good, not super affordable, but it's affordable, $14. If you are very messy with makeup, and you kind of spill your foundation or whatever easily, this one is not the one for you, because it is a very liquidy foundation. So if you spill your foundation easier, it won't be easier to apply. So yeah. And next foundation is the Revlon Color Stay foundation. They do have different formulas. They have a formula for people who have oily to normal skin, and then people who have dry to normal skin. If you get on Ulta, if you get it on Ulta, it is $7.79 if you get it on Ulta, but it's probably, like I said, it's probably a different price at CVS, Target, Walgreens, but it's very full coverage. It dries super fast, so that's what, so you kind of, so this is like, you kind of have to work quick with this foundation because it sets super fast, where it's kind of like, I didn't know we were doing this today. I didn't know we were gonna set that fast, but it's set super fast. I feel like it's really good if like you want to wear makeup but you're kind of in a rush because it sets so fast and you don't like to wait for your foundation to dry. So yeah, that wraps up today's video on the most full coverage foundations that are drugstore and also high-end. There are way more full coverage foundations that are out there on the market that are also drugstore and high-end. If you want me to make a part 2, definitely leave a comment down below. Do not forget to like and subscribe. I was about to say something. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Tell me if you bought these foundations or if you had them and you've never tried them. Tell me how you like it. Are they good? Are they bad? Are they hit or miss? Are you living for it, or do you want to throw it in the trash? Tell me in the comments down below, and please have a gold afternoon.